Lily will start school here in August this year. So we found it that this is our opportunity to do something. So we could just hop in a van, and this was a great opportunity to actually show people that it's possible to do something totally different with your life. We feel like we can come home. Nothing will have changed when we come home. Everyone will just keep on with their lives, and when we come home, we have changed like in our soul, but nothing at home have changed.
All right, everyone, this is our 4th episode of Families on the Road. This week we have a dream worth chasing. Emma and Richard started their 1-year hiatus in Sweden last year, and they traveled through most of the country, mostly starting in the winter, which is when I first saw them and was really interested in how they were managing it, seeing drone photography of their RV in just some of the snowiest conditions you could imagine. So I called them up, and here's the interview. We really had a good time talking about, some of the reasons why they chose to do this, how they made it happen, and why they were just doing it for a year. And, I think for maybe a lot of you out there, trying to do this full-time might be a little bit of a stretch, but a year is something that might be more in reach, and is really a perfect way for, to really step back, take a break, rent the house if you can, and connect as a family before life starts changing, whether, that's just the kids getting older or something like the coronavirus steps in and everything is out of our control. So, I think Emma and Richard show us how to really make the most of it and grab life and really do what you want. So I hope you all enjoy the show this week. Hello, Emma.
Hi.
This is Colin.
Do you hear us?
How are you guys?
And we are fine. We are actually in a skiing place in Sweden, so we are quite tired from skiing all day, but otherwise we're fine. How are you?
I'm jealous. I wish I was skiing all day.
Well, it's your turn soon, maybe.
Yeah, we escaped the cold. It's hot and muggy here, but it is very nice to not be in the cold.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Emma, is your partner there?
Yeah, I'm here with you as well.
Oh, fantastic. And I didn't catch your name. What was your name?
My name is Richard.
Great.
Yes.
My name is Colin.
Colin, all right. Hello there.
Nice to meet you guys. Thank you for your interest in doing this. We came across your page and your photos were arresting, and I thought you'd be great subjects for the podcast that we'll be launching soon. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're super stoked. We looked at your page too, so we're happy that you contacted us.
Great.
Where are you now?
We're now down in Florida.
All right.
So we left Maine with similar conditions to probably what you're in now about 3 weeks ago, and
yeah, it's just our baby boy.
We know how that goes. How old is your youngest?
So in 2 weeks is one.
Oh wow! All right. And how are you finding the van life with kids?
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot, and our friends have been like, I don't know how you could cope with it. Like, our kids are horrible at home. How can you be in a van with them? And we feel like we better be in a van with a beautiful setting than at home just bored. So we find it very good, actually.
That's great.
We will have the fight with the kids either if we're home or here, so better be here than home.
It's so true. My wife was saying that the other day, and it was just a good reminder.
Yeah, it is.
So what inspired you guys to do this? It seems like a bit of a life change. Is it permanent? Is it short term? Is it why'd you hop in a van?
Well, it's quite not short term, but not lifetime term either. We have since in Sweden it's what's the word? When you go to school, you have to go to school when you're 6 years old,
Right.
And you don't have a choice of like homeschooling or anything. So Lily will start school here in August this year. Mm-hmm. So we found it like that this is our opportunity to do something. We felt like, I don't know how you guys feel, but when you, especially in Sweden, having 2 kids, you are like expected to have like everyone should have this big house, and everyone should have this cool job, and you should go like to dance classes every Tuesday, and you should do this typical kind of stuff that a family does. And we just felt like, what? No, we don't want to do that. So just hop in a van and do it from here. And we felt like this was a great opportunity to actually show people that it's possible to do something totally different with your life than just stay home.
Absolutely. We've also just gone through this process, and what was it like for you to kind of buck the norm and do that? Was it incredibly challenging?
With some generations of people, like my grandmother, she's born in the 40s, and she was like, what? She's been like ignoring the fact that we are going away until like maybe 2 days before we actually left. So I feel like those kind of people that are quite old, they think this is incredibly strange. And then my mom's generation, they are like born in the 60s. They also think it's kind of strange because you can't live in a van, because they have this big house, they have a career, they don't have kids that live at home. So they've also been very skeptical to this. And then we have the people in our generation, like 30, 40ish, that you can actually really tell that they are quite jealous and feel like, wow, I wish we could do the same and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been tough. It is actually trying to find the right motivation and trying to like convince people that this is actually a good thing. I feel it's kind of tough. I don't know how you guys felt.
I agree. It's interesting to hear what it's like in Sweden, because in the States it's absolutely the same. And I feel the pressure every day. I'm 32 years old, and I am, quote unquote unemployed and live in a van, and I should be having some sweet job and, with life insurance and tucking money away in some account, but that's not happening right now.
Exactly.
And yes, some people think it's very strange. A lot of my friends are supportive, but all in all, it is, people want to know what's going to happen next. And you're like, well, this is what's happening next.
Exactly, yeah. And I feel like exactly what you said there, like people don't think that this is they feel like, okay, yeah, they have a midlife 30-year crisis. Okay, they will get home and then everything will be back to normal. When we feel like we can come home, nothing will have changed when we come home. Everyone will just keep on with their lives, and when we come home we have changed like in our soul, but nothing at home have changed. So I'm actually quite scared of what will happen when we come home and try like living the life that we've learned here, like minimalistic and living on like 10 square meters. It's quite different from living in a house of 200 square meters. So I'm scared of how we'll cope with getting home here in 8 months.
I didn't quite think about it like that. Just what happens when you do go home, and after you've had these experiences, how is life different, and how can you either bring these new learnings and ways of life into your life as it is, or do you have to actually change because you've changed?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure if we rented out our house now, and I'm not sure, none of us is sure if we're actually going to move back there, because that will be like even more like now we're home back where we like started on square one. So maybe like buying a new house, moving to a new city, maybe something like that, just to like break the pattern of where we came from, because we weren't actually, we were happy with our lives, but something made us go here. So something needs to change in order to like keep the spirit from the van life thing.
Right. And how would you describe the spirit for somebody that has never lived this lifestyle? What is the spirit of the van life for you?
I think like just I'm a road trip girl. I love to just go in the car and just drive. And I like the van life. Life is much like that. You are so free to do whatever you want, and you don't have to like. So for now, like we are here in a very popular skiing place in Sweden, and we're here maybe almost all alone because everyone is at work, and I feel so free. to do whatever I want, and that's that's a mind opener and a game changer to have. Like, you have all the possibilities in the world to do whatever you want because you are outside of the working and the regular life thing.
Sure. And I could imagine, I mean, very few people could imagine what it's like to do this themselves, let alone doing it with children. But on top of that, you guys are doing this in the winter with children.
Yes.
I mean, congratulations. We just left the winter because I'm a former professional snowboarder. I chased snow to snow to snow year round. And I said, I am not doing this in the snow. This is too hard. Like, get me to Florida and we'll, take a break and reassess, what we're going to do. We do have ski gear, but tell me about that. I mean, your photos are beautiful, and I see your daughter is out. It seems like she's outside every day. How do you keep her engaged? Does she ever just not want to go out, or are you guys pretty motivated to just get after it every day?
Yeah, we try to like motivate her to think that, like, where we live in Sweden, normally we don't have this kind of weather during the winter. We maybe have like 2 weeks of snow, and then it's like all muddy and so she's actually quite stoked. But I think both me and Richard we are very positive people, so we try to keep her mind open to that everything that waits outside the van is fun, and that life is awaiting her. But of course, she has days when she just wants to lay inside and do like painting or stuff like that. But we try to engage the whole family, so everyone gets out skiing and tries to be there with her and everyone else.
Yeah, that's awesome. And were you guys big skiers before you left, or is that something? I guess it's kind of Swedish society. You grew up skiing with skis on your feet, I imagine.
We actually, I've been almost every year. We went away on a skiing week with my family, and Richard has also been skiing a lot before, but we're not pros or anything. We just like the spirit and the environments up here. We actually talked about that a lot while driving through all this winter wonderland, that we actually do miss snow very much where we live now, and maybe it would be possible to move up north to get the snowy climate and not have to travel for, especially for the climate and stuff, that you need to find your place and the things you love and keep them close to home, so that you don't have to travel to get snow or sun. If you like sun, we don't. So get your stuff closer to you, so you don't have to travel as much in the future. Right.
And was that part of why you left? Did you have long commutes to work? Was it or you just couldn't? Was it hard to get out on the weekend to do the things you wanted to do that you loved doing?
Yeah, Sweden is a very strange country in that way, because we do have these very snowy cities up north, and then we have where we live, it's it's autumn from August until May, and it's not the nice kind of autumn, it's the dirty, muddy autumn stuff. So we are or Richard at least he loves nature and loves to be out, and I love photography, so to be in a very uninspiring climate is not something fun. To be just up here and the sun is shining and my photography eyes are going crazy. So we wanted to go to places where we felt inspired to work, to pretty places.
Right. And so you're a photographer, and what's Richard's background again?
He's actually a photographer as well, in the beginning, and then up until recently, he's been an airline pilot, and now he works as a teacher at a university here in Sweden with drones, professionally flown drones. They have a school here that teaches how to do that professionally. So he's a professor there.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, so he runs a drone photography firm as well with a guy from Stockholm. So we are two crazy photographers could be quite hard for the kids sometimes when we just like, oh my God, you have to stop the car. And then we just run out and take photos and poor kids.
Yeah, we can empathize with that. Our kids aren't really old enough to, really wonder why we're stopping the car. It just happens, but...
yeah, because you guys are photographers as well, right?
Yeah, my wife, she's the main photographer. I've shot my whole life, but I've never held myself out there as a photographer, but I'm always around it and working with photographers, and I can shoot a photograph every now and again.
Yeah.
But I don't do the post-production. I just leave that to her.
Yeah, that's usually how it works here too. So.
Yeah. But I love the drone aspect that you're bringing to where you're traveling. I mean, I think it makes it feel a lot more compelling to see where you are and, your space in the universe. There's like, here's our home now, here's our home today.
Exactly. Yeah, we try to mix it up a bit, like trying to have some inspirational posts about why we left and how people can chase their dreams. But the drone, we see that we get a lot of engagement from the drone pictures and the videos, so we try to do that too.
Right.
So now Richard is here with us, and Love as well. So you can talk to Richard now if you want to as well.
Richard, Luva.
Hello there.
Hello.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
Love seems a bit confused with the situation.
Yeah.
Why are you talking so strange?
Who's this strange man?
Exactly.
Yeah, he can only hear us talk out loud in the room, so I'm sure he seems very confused. But I'm here now.
Great. We were just talking about your drone photography and cinematography, and Emma was telling me that you're actually a professor in this, and you've been a pilot before, so you have quite a bit of experience in that, I'd take it.
Yeah, exactly. It's I'm a bit schizophrenic. I like new stuff and always dreamt about flying in all kinds of ways. But my life started out with photography and cinema, and I did that until I was 25 when I started at the university myself, taking flying lessons, and I've been working with it for 10 years now around the world, and mostly in Europe and this part of the world, but it's almost 6,000 hours in the air now, so I know a lot of it. I would like to do it for the rest of my life, but I'm also curious to see what more is out there. So at the moment there's a lot of focus on education and sort of giving back what I got when I studied at the university, and try to get in a lot of entrepreneurial thoughts into it as well. It's a strange life living as an airline pilot. You got a lot of time to think, which is not always good.
Sure. So how are you finding life in the van so far? You guys have been on the road how long? About a month now? 2 months?
Yeah, almost 2 months. We left sort of home before we actually left home, just to get everything sorted out with the car. It takes a lot of time just to get the right stuff in, throw some stuff out. We actually got somebody interested, and we wasn't really found about renting it out to some people we didn't trust. But luckily, it did turn out well. But by then, we were already living in the van, but we were living in our own city, which was kind of cool as well, to see the city from another perspective.
What was that like? We sort of had a similar experience, but once you've checked out of your house and into this new reality, just walk me through what that feels like.
It is, the city itself is new. We moved there 4 years ago, so we've been sort of exploring it. We know more about the city than the people living in it, but at the same time we ended up in a house. Turned out to be perfect for us, sort of close by schools, nature, but it's a big city, and you could live down by the beach, you can live in the city center, and now the first weeks in the van we actually tried that as well, and we got to learn the city from a different perspective, and I really enjoyed it. And we're hopefully will maybe come back for a few weeks before we continue down to Europe, in southern parts of Europe, and try different places.
Yeah, but I also felt like when we actually moved out in the van from the house, that it's quite strange trying to live like the normal life with the kids in preschool and just trying to do things you normally do, but be in a van. I felt that I just wanted to get going and get started with the adventure, because it felt like we were stuck in our own city, just waiting for the right date, because we were going on a ferry to an island called Gotland here in Sweden. So we had a date where we had to leave. And it felt quite strange to be in the city, trying to live the life you have lived before, but not at all like you've been living it before.
Sure. I can totally see both sides of that. We kind of had similar experiences, but you see people, like your friends, and you say goodbye, and then you see them the next week, and they're like, you guys haven't left yet.
Somebody stole all your things during that weekend.
You're just looking a bit rougher around the edges now. Just get out of here already.
Yeah. No, I find it sort of when you're on your way somewhere, I really need something to long for, like just being on the road driving in the middle of the night. I don't find it very amusing. Maybe listen to a pod, or in the best of cases talk to Emma. But it's I need something to look forward to. Driving for hours, sort of, and luckily we've been good finding places. I don't know what you say in English for a smultronställe, but
golden spots, maybe. It's hard in Sweden here during winter, especially since it's been that cold. We have, I don't know how in Fahrenheit, but it's like the worst we had was minus 30 degrees.
Woo.
And it's very cold. So I've been trying to like crisscross between like campsites that had 16 amperes of electricity for us, so we can actually heat the car so we won't freeze during nights. But it's been tough to find places to stay, to have like a regular life, not freezing, sleeping in our comfy clothes.
We can also heat with is it gas? No.
Yeah, propane.
Propane, yeah. Propane gas, but it's especially in the northern parts where you find minus 30 degrees Celsius, you don't find the propane. So it's been really like you're on an island sort of with your resources slowly drifting away on the big ocean. So it's been with the winter and with the cold, it's been harder. So that's one of the things we look forward to for the summer, to sort of stay for longer out in the wild of Europe.
Yeah. No, I was telling Emma before, I think you both are very brave to be doing this in the winter. It's the life that we're sharing right now. Doing it with kids, that's very brave, but to do it in the depth of winter in Sweden in up to negative 30, very brave. So, well done.
It's a thin line between brave and, you know what?
Yeah. No,
it's, I wouldn't. Looking back, it's a lot of things during this trip or during this month has been like coming back to sort of places we have been to before. I went up to one place in the northern part where I did my military service, and I suddenly realized a lot of the things I do on a normal basis is sort of thanks to that, how to keep things sort of where they're supposed to be, taking care of things, always have like a few backup plans if something happens. I mean, this car is new, but we have been so many strange things going on, explosions and gas leaks and things. I mean, that's not what you read about or see on pictures. But it's always like we mentioned in a post, like you're all the way down on the Maslow's.
Yeah.
And you're like struggling to get up a few steps, and then you're down. And you're looking under some stone for food and water in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but we had fun too.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not going to remember those things. You're going to remember all the happy moments and like being with the kids and funny things you experience. But life on the road is like that. I mean, you probably experienced a lot of strange things as well you didn't expect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It never ends.
No, it never ends. Never ends. But I guess, Richard, I'm curious, you know, I don't know what life was like beforehand, but I don't know, you said if you served in the military before and now you're I don't know who's captain of the ship, but you got to make sure this thing's going to work at, if the heat breaks in the middle of the night, you got to try and fix it. So how does it feel to be sort of in the middle of a snowstorm and Arctic temperatures and kind of know that you're safe and you're comfortable and you can look after your family if something happens, to be that self-sufficient? How does that feel?
It's a teamwork, and the small things you do sort of extra to cover your ass all the time, and it's also with the plans, like you don't want to run on we had a situation where you're going somewhere and you don't see anybody for an hour or two, and you're like running low on fuel, and you arrive to the fuel station and the fuel station is closed. But then you sort of make quick calculations. You sort of had a backup plan for that. You start to talk to some strange truck driver in the middle of nowhere. And I think with the military service, it was sort of like that. I was responsible for a group of people in a tank, and I mean, you were part of something big, but it was always down to you to sort of don't mess things up, or always have some margins and sort of stay strong even if things is just way out of hand. Mm-hmm. And this is sort of similar. And of course with kids you want the best and you want things to run smooth, but you sort out the small things, and that makes you strong for the big challenges.
And we actually had a very shitty day here a couple of weeks ago where it just like we ended up just like laughing at it because it was so bizarre with we couldn't get up a stove,
everything.
But the tractor came and the gas was out and we had an explosion, and it was just like this is too much. It has to be better from here. And I think our strongest part in this is that, as Richard said, that we have, me and him have to stay as a team. We have to work like together, and then we have Whlle, who is she's very anxious, and every time something happens, she's gets very like nervous and like,
oh, come on, it was just an explosion. Calm down.
And she's like always believes the worst and stuff. Yeah, living like this makes us.
But also, I mean, like Whlle, she could be like the best problem solver in this van. she can really like surprise you with the most clever solutions to things. So you first of all you need to breathe, and then so don't give her too much information.
Yeah.
But she could be helpful, definitely, and she is helpful, especially with our youngest.
But I think we have to be a strong husband and wife team here, and this trip will help us very much to continue to be that.
And how do you do that? I guess when you have kids, your time together and your relationship evolves. I mean, we felt that, but I think a lot of people would wonder, like, do you get sick of each other? Do you how do you get time to yourselves when you all sleep either in the same bed or in the same 10 square meters? Like, how do you find time for yourselves?
Before I joined, I think you and Emma talked about being home with the kids. It was tough, and I wouldn't say it's any different here. It's tough, but you get everything, all the things around it, all the positive things that makes you stronger. Back home, it was just like, this has to end. It's going back and forth with Whlle for dance and all kind of things, and just getting around, like, the day only has 24 hours, and this sort of calms things down a bit. But we try to find some sort of structure on the day where all of us are, I don't know what you call it, but like really grumpy. If we don't get any food, we get hangry. So we need the structure, like this is the time we start preparing the food, this is when we eat, and we can sort of, okay, we missed it by 30 minutes. That's why we are like really pissed at the moment. But that also, I mean, understanding how everybody works and what we need to do to sort of cope with that before it happens, and also what makes us happy, like spare time for ourselves, or just Emma and me could just like sit for half an hour after lunch when Whlle gets out, Love is just like sleeping. You get 30 minutes in the middle of the day just talking about all kinds of stuff. That's golden moments, instead of sort of meet during the evening after a long day with you struggling with everything with the kids. So it's all about sort of finding the moments during the day and accept what's going on now and try to leave everything else out. One thing that is sort of taking a bit too much time maybe is just communication with relatives home. Of course, it brings sort of comfort, but of course it's nice to know that somebody is following us during this journey. But during the day, I mean, we some days we could talk to 4 or 5 through FaceTime, and then all of a sudden 3 hours is gone.
Right.
You need them, of course, but it feels like they need us more than we need them.
Yeah, and I think the hard part here with them is like actually tuning out from, I guess that will happen when we have been away for a couple of months more than now, but actually like letting go of your old life and actually just be here, present in this moment, and like, okay, we do have to talk to our friends and our relatives, but maybe we don't have to do it like every day. Maybe we can have like Sundays as our day to talk to everyone, or trying to find and live a new life here and not like trying to live our old life in a van. That's a struggle, but I hope and I think that part will be easier when we've been away for a while.
That's a great way to put that, Emma. I love that.
A good thing here, it's very sort of short from discussion to decision. It's like, yeah, we maybe we should try this. Yeah, we try this. Yeah, we tried it now. Yeah, okay, from now on. It's not you can't buy things here. You need to solve things with the things you have. And when it comes to food, we can talk about what we eat. We can sort of do better research if the things we eat are healthy or if it's just garbage. And we can sort of try things out. We have time to experiment with the food, and of course it doesn't really matter because everything you eat when you're really hungry, it tastes marvelous.
Absolutely. So what's food like for you guys? Are you I imagine, depth of winter up there, finding fresh fruits and vegetables is not like something that you come across on a daily basis.
Yeah, sadly, you actually are, and that's a huge part of what we're trying to live. The Swedes, I don't know how it's with you guys over there, but the Swedes have some major environmental crisis right now. So everyone is talking about like going vegan and saving the planet and no flying and stuff like that. So especially since we have a very small fridge, we try to eat as much vegan and vegetarian as we can, and try to eat in season, because you can find fresh fruit, but we try to eat as seasonal as we can, just to be more aware, because I feel like if you just go to a grocery store and you buy a mango in December, it's quite strange.
Right.
We had one of my I have had thoughts from the beginning to like have carrots on the top of the roof and try to sort of bring as much or think about. My brother he's a farmer,
right?
On a 9 here in Gotland. Try to sort of
have a root cellar in a Thule box.
Yeah, but they started out with nothing, and they had to learn how to sort of survive. And they started out with their own potato and all kinds of stuff. But it was so much work, and they could buy it for like $1 for a kilo potato. So they found it was better to sort of focus on things that they couldn't really buy cheaper. But I would love to have anything organic sort of living, especially on the roof of the car.
Sure.
But maybe later on, and I haven't given up the plan. I like the thing you see on like YouTube with this robotic watering the plants and just taking care of everything, and all you do is like put your head up and pick a few carrots or something. I would love that.
Yes. Perhaps when you get to Europe, you could do that in Spain or something. So tell me about where you're hoping to go next.
The plan later on is to sort of catch spring here, which we lived in Spain for a couple of years, and it was great all year round, but the houses weren't really built for the winter. It was great during the days, but for maybe April it's lovely down there. So our plan is just to go now to Switzerland and Austria, maybe catch some more skiing with the Alps, and just all these amazing views and landscapes, and then continue as far south possible down to Portugal and Spain, French Riviera, all these small wine.
Italy.
Yeah, Toscana. Lily want to go to Croatia for the swimming, and hopefully during that time it's more or less summertime down there, and then we'll just slowly turn back home and take the summer here in Sweden the last couple of months. That's sort of the rough plan. I don't know if you know about England and Great Britain, and the islands over there. It's here in Sweden you sort of laugh regarding their climate with the constant rain all year round. And Emma just for a couple of weeks ago she sort of, couldn't we go to England for yeah, that would be great, but we'll see. It's for us, Europe is sort of big when you have these kids. You don't drive for more than maybe 2-3 hours maximum, and we don't want to spend all time driving around. We rather stay for a couple of days on every place.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely certain ways to travel, and I think with kids that's how you save your sanity, is by agreeing to just be somewhere for a few days and then take your long travel days. But absolutely in Europe.
Exactly. Yeah, that's probably you find a balance. Like if you stay for 3 days, you can have day 4 you can drive for long, and maybe then day 5 is a very quick one. And I mean, it's probably going to be easier when you find sites. We were desperate to find electricity during the last 2 weeks due to the cold, and even if like we did find electricity on the homepage, we're like, yeah, we're open all year round, you get all the electricity you want. Then you show up and there's nobody there, and you can't find any electricity, and then you have like 30 miles to the next place, which most likely is closed as well.
Yeah, that's extreme.
But on the other hand, we had one night, just an example, where with this extreme cold, but then we just woke the kids up and like put all the clothes available for the wardrobe. I mean, they
slept all 4 in the
and the full 4 of us were sleeping in the balcony
overhead.
Yeah, the bed on the top. And the kids loved it. They were like, "Yeah, please can we do this again?"
You know.
And we were more like, "Jesus Christ, we survived this night."
Nice.
But on the other hand, going south now, we're not. We might find it hard with water, and like coping with it's a different kind of cuisine, food. Yeah. Up here you take water for whatever strange places. You fill the water at the gas station, and you know it's safe. But especially with Love, he's been sort of protected from all kinds of stuff. He's going to be vaccinated.
He will have a vaccine. I don't know what it's called. The measles, maybe?
Oh, measles, yeah.
Yeah, they have these super huge, large cases with these in Europe, so he has to get a shot before we go.
Right.
To be protected from that.
Do you take whatever water is available, or do you have to think about?
We have been. I would like to put a filtration system in here, but I need to undermount the water tanks.
Yep.
And so it's a little bit of a larger job. And then when you get to a freezing environment like you're in, then you need to have heated tanks, which, just some further consideration. And so our van was very DIY, and we've done very well, and it works. But the water system could be better right now.
Yeah. The problem is you don't really know before it's too late, like all the strange things growing in the tank.
Yeah.
The freshwater tank, we need to sort of, it's not like IKEA, you can't just unscrew and you get access to it. It's really well hidden.
Yeah.
Extremely well hidden. And it's not intended to be living in a van for 8 months in a row. You're supposed to be out for 2 weeks, and then you put it on a service, like a van service for a month.
Yeah.
And then you store it for a year. Hopefully we don't tend to have any issues with it, but that could be one thing that's going to be an issue with the heat down in Spain. It's going to be like 60 degrees warmer, and all of a sudden you have a different kind of issues.
Problem. I guess like a engine boiling and stuff like that. So no propane problems, but other stuff.
But are you now in Florida? I don't know, temperature-wise. I mean, cold water, is that an issue? Like to keep the water cold, or how's the temperature now? It should be fine. It's I mean, during the summertime.
Oh yeah.
The same.
I mean, the only issue here would be it would get too warm, but that's just life and living in a van, warm water.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's about 25 degrees Celsius and, sunny and muggy, and we'll be heading out to the Florida Keys next week, which is kind of into the Caribbean, so a very different... But down there, it comes with its own challenges. Camping's very difficult, and free camping is impossible. The campgrounds are very expensive. But we're looking forward to it. We just booked a trip out to a national park, which is 70 miles offshore from the most southern tip of the U.S.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to do a photo trip out there, and really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
But
not at all jealous.
Yeah, no, hey, but like Richard,
I need to Google that.
Yeah, maybe we can trade places, because I was a snowboarder for a long time, and so I did chase snow all around the world, but I gave it up for this trip. Like I was saying, I didn't want to do it. We do have ski gear. We have a Thule box that's full, but not until the spring. We'll be using that.
Oh, yeah, okay. The place we're staying at now, it's we're not bringing any equipment, but we did rent skis both for slalom and whatever that's called, cross country. But I was quite happy because you could also change your stuff for a snowboard. So I did for 2 days, and right now I'm just happy to be alive.
Yeah. How's your body feel?
I'm a bit sort of. I could easily just stay in the van tomorrow. It's been a hard learning, but it was also great because Lily, she 3 days ago, I was telling her how to ski, and now she's like, Dad, maybe there is a snowboard school you can try out. So it's also learning by doing. But now I go where I aim, and I managed to get up in the lift systems and everything like that. So I'm gonna leave the snowboard for the skis tomorrow, and just leave it. It's a great memory, but maybe next year.
All right. Well, I'm sure you're getting close. Well beyond Luve's bedtime. But is there anything else that you guys feel like you wanted to share, or I guess what do you hope people take away from your trip? I know, Emma, you mentioned you're kind of trying to get people to be inspired to do something different with their lives. Is that something you hope to achieve by sharing your story from the road?
Yeah, I guess the main is that take a look at your life, listen to your dreams, listen to your heart, and do follow your dreams. Not everyone is dreaming about living in a van, but...
We wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Really.
No, you have to be a very special family to live in van.
Yeah, it's brutal. But it's great.
Yeah, but I guess the main takeaway we hope that people get from this is that, following your own dreams and listen to your heart and do... I'm a yoga instructor too, and I tend to be a personal coach to all my friends. But I try to tell them, as I hope to tell everyone out there too, that you have to do what your heart longs for. You have to live your life now, and not when you are 17 years old waiting for your pension to give you money, or live your life now. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow, or just don't stay home in your comfortable little box of happiness. Go chase your dreams.
That's perfect. And so when people are looking for you guys online, how can they find you?
Yeah, mostly I work with as well. Oh my God, it feels like I'm a schizophrenic person. I have 4 different jobs I say that I do, but I'm also a digital marketer, or as here in Sweden we feel like growth hacker is a very cool new thing. So that's my before I quit my job, my title was a growth hacker. So we actually decided to just keep all our content and all our stuff on Instagram, because we feel like focusing our attention to one channel would be better than have 5 different that don't get a lot of attention at all. So it's just Instagram, a dream we're chasing account.
Great. Anything else you guys want to share before I let you go?
No, I don't think so. I think we got it all.
Awesome.
So what is the, do you have a next step for this podcast thingy, or what's your thoughts about it?
So I'm sorry, I didn't actually inform you before the call. I said, you know what, I'm just going to throw the recorder on because I don't know when we're going to be able to talk again. So I did record this conversation. I hope that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
Great. So that way I was like, oh, well, realistically, we might not be able to talk again for some time. So I might as well just record it. So I did record. We are in the process of getting the podcast together. I've interviewed a former competitor of mine. His name's Whlle. He's an Austrian who's living on a sailboat right now with his wife and 2 boys. They're most recently in Venezuela. He's from Austria. And so we've done an episode with him, and basically we're looking to release these in a little bit of a different format. So we're trying to do 4-episode seasons around a specific topic. So I think for you guys, you'd absolutely fit in like the on the road topic whenever we get there. I can't tell you when we'll launch that, but we'll definitely keep in touch with you, and would love to feature you with a couple of photographs and write up a bit of a story about this and release the episode as well. And we'd give you guys, a listen, and if you wanted to promote it as well, that would be awesome.
Yeah, sure.
All right, guys. Well, I'll let you get on with your evening, get to bed, and put Lua to bed. But thank you so much, and I will absolutely be in touch. Should I take an email, or is the best way to get a hold of you?
No,
Instagram?
I think Instagram works fine if it's fine for you.
Okay.
We are both checking it every minute or so.
Don't get too addicted. I'm finding myself getting addicted to Instagram.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, updating our follower stats all the time. Like, oh my God, we lost one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to stop. But I will check the DMs, so don't worry.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Have a really good
day.
Yeah.
Day, is it? Yeah.
Yes, we will. Thank you very much. Ciao. Thank you, Emma and Richard, for joining us on the Rewilding Parenthood podcast. You can find out more about their story on our Instagram stories at Afuera Vida or our blog at afueravida.com. And our last episode for the Families on the Road season will be in Spanish and hosted by Sophie, and she'll be interviewing Families Sin Fronteras. They are traveling up the Pan American Highway from South America to Alaska. So they are in northern South America at the moment. And, I really hope that you enjoy this episode, and I hope you appreciate the global perspective that we strive to bring to this show. Having been global citizens and, always interested in continuing our life and connections abroad, we really feel it's important to highlight those families from elsewhere around the world doing amazing things. If you like what you hear, please consider leaving us a review or a rating. You can do that on Apple Podcasts. Rewilding Parenthood has sound and editing by Mercedes Riva, and the music is by Tomas Tyrell. So tune back in next week, especially if you can speak Spanish. If you can't, join me and we'll start practicing, so that way by the time we get to our 50th season, we'll have it all dialed in. All right, thanks everyone. Stay safe out there. Adios.